Welcome everyone. Welcome. We're here back to the NBA, National Basketball Association of Bible Basketball. Come on in, come on out of the locker room. Let's have a little fun with the Word of God. Y'all come on in as we get ready to head and watch these players go up and down this court. Come on in. Let's play a little Bible basketball. I hope everyone is okay. Everyone, we had a little break last week, had a chance to take a break. And so we took a break, and now we're back to go at it again. We're back to go at it again. So, welcome to the National Basketball Association. Good evening to my classmate, Not. Hello, Not. The crowd is glad to see you back, Not. Glad to have you back with us. The crowd is glad to see you back with us. All right. We're ready to head on up and down this court and play some b-ball. We're going to give a few seconds for our players to come on in. The crowd is all excited about tonight. All right, we're gonna give them a few minutes. They took a break, had a little break last week, and so now we got to get back in shape, get all warmed up to head on down that court. All right. All right. Good evening to my cousin Shirley. God bless you, cousin Shirley. Good to see you this evening. All right. God bless you and your family. We're going to get started in a minute with our Bible basketball as our players come on out of the locker room. They're a little rusty. We had last week off, and so we're back at it. And this week we're getting going into Resurrection Day. So as we head towards Resurrection Day tonight, we're going to look at some of the things, the events that occurred as we move toward Resurrection Day. Thank you. Thank you. And good evening, Bishop Granberry. God bless you, my brother. Good to see you this evening. All right. So today we're coming out of the book of Matthew, Matthew chapter 26. We're coming out of the book of Matthew chapter 26. And I'm doing fine, Bishop. I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing the same. We're coming out of the book of Matthew chapter 26. And so we're going to get ready to pull up our questions. We're going to pull up our questions. I got to get them off of my iPad. So y'all get ready because we're getting ready to go at it as we get ready to pull up our questions for today. All right. Like I said, we're in Matthew chapter 26. Matthew chapter 26. And so as I get my computer together, my computer a little slower today. And so all right, here comes our questions from Matthew chapter 26. Are y'all ready to head up and down this court? Are you ready to head up and down this court? And we're going to get ready to pull up our questions here. Get that out the way. All right. All right, here comes our first question. It says, a woman poured ointment on Jesus' head, but the disciples thought what? A, it should have been poured on his feet. B, it should have been poured on their heads. C, she should have kept it. D, it should have been sold and given to the poor. Good evening to my wife, our first lady. So what do y'all think? What should have been done with that ointment? What should have been done? And there go cousin Shirley takes off down the court right away and she says, sell it and give it to the poor. That's what they said. That's what the disciples said, and she passes it to the first lady. Sell it and give it to the poor. Down the court they go with sell it and give it to the poor. Are we all in agreement with sell it and give it to the poor? As they go back and forth down the court with sell it and give it to the poor. Are we all in agreement with sell it and give it to the poor? As I listen for the other players to come on in. What y'all think should be done? What the disciples say it shall be done with this here. And here comes not Kennedy. She said, sell it and give it to the poor. Down the court she goes with sell it and give it to the poor. All right. Are we unanimous? Are we unanimous with sell it and give it to the poor? Down the court as the seconds tick on the clock. Is that correct? D, sell it and give it to the poor. Is that correct? Let's check it out here as the seconds tick on the clock. That is correct. Sell it and give it to the poor. That is correct. Flying 360 slam on that one there. All right. Let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Way to slam that one. Next question says, which of the 12 betrayed Jesus? A, Simon Peter. B, James. C, Judas. D, Philip. Which one of them betrayed Jesus? Who's going to take off down the court first? The crowd is all excited and ready. Who's going to take off down the court first? And there goes the first lady. She said it was Judas. Down the court she goes with Judas, and she passes it to his cousin Shirley. Down the court they go with C, with Judas. Are we all in agreement with C, with Judas? Down the court they're going with C, with Judas. Anybody see anything else as they go back and forth down the court with C, with Judas? Is that correct? Or do somebody see something different? And they passes it to Sister Knott. Sister Knott takes off down the court. Is this another slam with C, Judas? Is this another slam? That is correct. It is C, Judas. Way to slam it on that one now. Flying 360 slam. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question says, what did he receive for betraying Jesus? What did Judas receive for betraying Jesus? It said A, 30 pieces of silver. B, 30 pieces of gold. C, pieces of silver. Or D, pieces of gold. Good evening as the pastor comes in. Good evening, Pastor White. And there go our first lady, takes off down the court with 30 pieces of silver. Down the court she goes with 30 pieces of silver. And she passes it to cousin Shirley. 30 pieces of silver it is. Down the court they go with 30 pieces of silver. And here comes Sister Lisa Jones. God bless you. Good to see you this evening, Sister Lisa. And she takes it and she heads down the court with 30 pieces of silver. She has the crowd all excited as she goes between her legs and behind her back with 30 pieces of silver. Are we all in agreement as she heads down the court? And she passes it to Sister Knott Kennedy. Sister Knott Kennedy goes down the court with 30 pieces of silver. Look at the crowd. They are all excited. Man, y'all are going at it down the court with 30 pieces of silver. 30 pieces of silver. They are headed down that court. Look at them go at it. Are we all in agreement with 30 pieces of silver as they go back and forth down that court with 30 pieces of silver? Is that correct? That is correct. It was 30 pieces of silver. Flying 360 slam on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question says, Jesus said the bread represented what? What does the bread represent? A, Israel. B, the church. C, the world. Or D, his body. What does the bread represent? As they get ready to head down the court, what does the bread represent? Israel. What? And there go the first lady, takes off down the court. It represents the body. Down the court, she got it stolen. The pastor said where it represents Israel. I think he on the wrong question. And here come cousin Shirley, steals it from the pastor and said, no, my brother, it is the body. Down the court she go with the body. But the pastor is still sticking with Israel. The bread represented Israel. Down the court, the pastor goes with Israel, and the first lady steals it from him and she passes it to Sister Not Kennedy. Down the court they go. They say it is D, his body. The pastor got with him this time. He looked at it again. All right, pastor, look at it. That's correct. And he passes it to Cousin Shirley, back to the pastor. Back and forth they go down the court, and he passes it to Sister Not Candy. Is it D, his body? Is this another slam dunk with D, his body? That is correct. It is D, the body. Way to slam it on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with the next question. Next question said, Jesus said, the fruit of the vine represent his blood, which is shed what? A, unjustly. B, because evil has prevailed. C, for many for the remission of sins. D, against all the will of all that is good and godly. What is the blood? The fruit of the vine represent his blood, which is shed for what reason? Who gonna take off down the court first on this one here? And here come the first lady. She said it is many for the sins, many for sins, for the remission of sins, for many for the remission of sins. She takes off down the court, and she passes it to Sister Lisa Jones. Sister Lisa Jones takes off down the court. It is shed for many for the remission of sins. Down the court she goes with many. The crowd is all excited as her and the first lady go back and forth down the court with remission of sins, and she passes it to Cousin Shirley. Cousin Shirley passes it to the pastor. The pastor goes between his legs behind his back with remissions of sin. Down the court, and he passes it to Sister Not Kennedy. Sister Not Kennedy go between the legs and pass it back to the pastor. Down the court, they're going back and forth down the court with the remission of sin between the pastor and Sister Not. Down the court, they're going back and forth. Is this a slam dunk? As they go back and forth with remission of sin between the pastor and Sister Not. Is this another slam dunk? Is this another slam dunk with remission? That is correct. It is for the remission of sin. Way to slam it on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question says, after they ate, what did Jesus and his disciples do before going to the Mount of Olives? After they ate, what did they do? A, prayed. B, discussed the kingdom. C, made a sacrifice. Or D, sang a hymn. Who's going to take off down the court first on this one here? What did they do before they went to the Mount of Olives? After they got through eating, there go Cousin Shirley said they began to sing. They sang a hymn. Down the court, she going with sing a hymn, and she passes it to the first lady. Down the court, they go back and forth with sing a hymn. As they go back and forth between sing a hymn, is that correct? Are we all in agreement? What did they do as before they went to the Mount of Olives? And here come the pastor getting in with it. He said they sang. Down the court, he going with sing. They sang a hymn. All right. Down the court, the pastor's going with sing. He go between the leg behind his back, and he passes it to Sister Not Kennedy. Down the court, Sister Not goes back and forth between her legs, and she takes off down the court between her and the pastor. They going back and forth. They said sang a hymn. All right. As they go back and forth, is this correct? Is this correct with sang a hymn? Is that correct? That is correct. They sang a hymn. Way to slam it on that one now. Flying 360 slam on that one. Let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. It's how many times did Jesus say Peter would deny him before the cock crowed? Good evening, Sister Alice. Good to see you this evening. How many times did Peter deny him? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, or D, 4? And that a pastor takes off down the court right away with 3. Down the court, the pastor goes with 3. He go between his leg behind his back, and he passes it to the first lady, back to the pastor. Back and forth, they going down the court, and the pastor passes it to Sister Lisa Jones. Sister Lisa Jones go between her legs and passes it to cousin Shirley, who passes it to Sister Alice. Sister Alice passes it to Sister Knott Candy. Sister Knott passes it back to Sister Alice down the court, and Sister Alice passes it back to Sister Knott. Back and forth, they going back and forth down the court. They are determined with C. Is this a slam dunk with C? As Sister Alice and Sister Knott go back and forth down the court with C. Is this a slam dunk as they go back and forth down the court? Is this a slam dunk? That is correct. It is C. Way to slam it on that one now with C. Flying 360 slam on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question said, Jesus went ahead to pray and came back and found his disciples what? A, gone. B, eating. C, sleeping. D, chatting. Who gonna head down the court first on this one here? Jesus went to pray and he came back and found them doing what? And there go the first lady, said they was sleeping. Down the court, the first lady goes with sleep and she passes it to cousin Shirley. Back and forth between cousin Shirley and the first lady, they go with sleeping and they passes it to the pastor. Down the court, the pastor goes with sleeping and he passes it to Sister Lisa Jones. Sister Lisa Jones passes it back to the pastor, who passes it to Sister Alice. Sister Alice passes it back between her leg to Sister Knott. Sister Knott passes it back down the court to the pastor. As they move back and forth, back and they moving fast, back to Sister Alice, to Sister Knott. Back and forth, they're going down the court real fast. Back to the pastor. They are speeding down this court. Back to Sister Alice, to Sister Knott. Back and forth, they're going down this court. And then here come the bishop, steals it and goes the other way. The bishop has stolen it and gone the other way with Eden. Down the court, the bishop goes the other way with Eden. Are they going to let him get away from them as the bishop takes down the court with Eden? Down the court, but here comes the first lady, steals it from the bishop, and she passes it to the pastor. Down the court, and pastor passes it to Sister Alice. Sister Alice takes off down the court and passes it back to the pastor, who passes it to Sister Knott. Down the court, Sister Knott passes it back to Sister Alice, back to the pastor, to Sister Knott. Back and forth, they going back and forth down the court as they take off down the court to the pastor, to Sister Alice. Back and forth, they going down this court. Man, to Sister Knott. Man, they are determined as they go down this court. Is this a slam dunk? They were sleeping. Were they sleeping? Let's check it out. They were sleeping. Flying 360 slam on that one now. Way to slam it. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question says, how did Judas identify Jesus? What did Judas do to identify Jesus? Let's get ready to head down the court with this next one. He said, A, by his clothes. B, he kissed him. C, he pointed to him. Or D, he struck him. What did he do to identify him? And there go the first lady, says he kissed him. Down the court, the first lady goes with kiss, and she passes it to cousin Shirley. Back and forth, they going down the court with kiss. Is this a slam dunk with kiss? He kissed him, or does somebody see something different? What did Judas do to identify Jesus? He identified him with a kiss of deceit, as they passes it to Sister Knott Kennedy. Sister Knott passes it to the pastor. The pastor passes it to Sister Alice Cummings. Sister Alice Cummings passes it back to Sister Knott, who passes it back to the pastor, and the pastor passes it to Sister Alice, back to Sister Knott. He identified him with a kiss. Sister Knott go between her leg behind her back as she go down the court, and she passes it back to Sister Alice. Down the court, they're going back and forth. Is this a slam dunk? Is this a slam dunk? He identified him with a kiss. Was it a kiss? That is correct. It was a kiss. Flying 360 slam on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with the next question. Next question said, what did Jesus call Judas? What did Jesus call him? A, evil servant. B, fool. C, friend. D, worker of iniquity. What did Jesus call him? Who's going to take off down the court first on this one here? What did Jesus call him? servant, fool, friend, or worker of iniquity. Who gonna talk off down the court on this one here? What did Jesus call him? And that go cousin Shirley takes off right away, and she said he called him what? A worker of iniquity. Down the court, cousin Shirley said worker of iniquity. But here come the first lady still and said, no, he called him friend. But then here come Sister Alice said, you worker of iniquity. Down the court, Sister Alice goes with worker of iniquity. She's speeding down the court, but here come the first lady, steals it back from her and said, no, he called him friend after he kissed him. Is that correct? Does somebody see something different as we take off down the court? They're going at it. The first lady goes between her leg and behind her back. She is determined as she shows off before the crowd. She said friend, and she passes it to the pastor. The pastor and the first lady are going down the court with friend. They are determined. Friend, and the pastor passes it to Sister Knott Kennedy. Down the court they go with friend. Are y'all gonna let them get away with friend? As they go down the court, Sister Knott passes it back to the pastor, and the pastor passes it to the first lady. Down the court they go back and forth. They are determined with friend, and cousin Shirley gets with them this time. She said, nah, she see it. Yeah, it is a friend. Down the court, the first lady doubles, pass it to Sister Knott, back to the pastor, back and forth. They go down the court. Is this correct? Is this correct with friend? That is correct. He called him friend after he kissed him. Flying 360 slam on that one there. After he kissed him, he called him friend. All right, that brings our first half to an end. After he kissed him, he called him friend. He kissed Jesus, and Jesus didn't get mad. He knew what was going on. He just said friend because he was a friend to him. Even knowing all the evil that Judas was up to, Jesus continued to be a friend to him. So let's get some rest and get ready to start our second half. Our second half, we're going to be coming out of the book of John chapter 13. John chapter 13 for our second half. All right, so get y'all some water. This is the NBA. We got some slamming going on here. So get you some water and get ready to start this second half. Our crowd is all excited and ready for you all. So we're going to be in John chapter 13. John chapter 13. If y'all are ready, let's get ready to pull up our questions for John chapter 13. Here comes our first question. He says, which disciple betrayed Jesus? Y'all don't need no multiple choice. Y'all some heavy hitters. What was the name of the disciple? Y'all done had that already. We just went over it. Which disciple betrayed Jesus? Y'all don't need no multiple choice. Come on now. Y'all show me y'all some heavy hitters. Show me y'all know how to play. There go cousin Shirley said Judas. Down the court, cousin Shirley goes with Judas and she passes it to the first lady. Down the court, the first lady passes it to the pastor White. Pastor said, Peter, what? Them first ladies said Judas, and here come the pastor said Peter was the one that betrayed him. Wow, pastor said Peter betrayed him. But here comes Sister Lisa Jones and no, pastor, it was Judas. And then the pastor thought about it. Now he's saying Judas too, and he passed it to the first lady. Back to the pastor, back into Sister Knott Kennedy. They said it is Judas. Down the court, back and forth they go. Yeah, back and forth they go down that court. All right, the pastor took a second look and he passes it to Sister Alice Cummins. It is Judas as she passes it to Sister Knott. Sister Knott takes off down the court and passes it to the pastor. Down the court they go and they passes it back to Sister Alice. Back and forth they go down the court. Man, they flying. They are flying. Is that correct with Judas? Is Judas correct? Yes, that is correct. It is Judas. Flying 360 slam on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question says, who put in his heart to betray Jesus? Who put in Judas' heart to betray Jesus? Was it A, an angel, B, the Pharisees, C, God, D, the devil? Who gonna take off down the court? Who put it in Judas' heart to betray Jesus? An angel, the Pharisees, God, or the devil? And there goes the first lady, takes off down the court, and she said it was the devil. Down the court she goes with devil, and she passes it to Cousin Shirley. And Cousin Shirley passes it, but she got it stolen. The Pastor White said it was the Pharisees. Down the court he goes with the Pharisees, put it in his heart. But then here comes Sister Knott Kennedy, steals it from the pastor and said, no, my brother, it was the devil that put it in his heart. Down the court, Sister Knott Kennedy goes with the devil, and she passes it to the First Lady. The First Lady takes off down the court, goes between the leg and passes it to Cousin Shirley. Cousin Shirley passes it back to Sister Knott. Sister Knott passes it to the First Lady down the court, and she passes it to the pastor. The pastor got with him this time. The pastor said it was the devil. Down the court, the pastor passes it to Sister Knott. Back and forth, they go down the court between Sister Knott and the pastor, and they passes it to Sister Alice Cummings. Is this a slam dunk with the devil? Is this a slam dunk as she passes it to Sister Knott? Is this a slam dunk? That is a slam dunk. The devil put it in her heart. Flying 360 slam on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question says, Jesus washed the disciples what? What did Jesus wash? Did he wash what? The disciples' hands, the disciples' faces, their garments, their feet? What did Jesus wash? There go the First Lady, takes off down the court, and she says feet. Down the court she go with feet, and she passes it to Cousin Shirley. Back and forth, they go down the court with feet. They go down the court with feet, and as they pass it down the court, they pass it to Sister Knott Kennedy. Sister Knott Kennedy go between her legs and behind her back with feet. Down the court, she going with feet. Jesus washed the disciples' feet. Down the court, she passes to Sister Alice Cummings. Sister Alice takes off down the court and passes it back to Sister Knott, who passes it back to Sister Alice, and back and forth between Sister Alice and Sister Knott. They going back and forth down the court between Sister Alice and Sister Knott. Back and forth, they go down the court. Is this a slam dunk with feet? Is this a slam dunk as they go back and forth with feet? That is correct. Way to slam it on that one now. That is correct. Flying 360 slam on that one. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Says, even though it was unlawful, Jesus did this. I read that wrong. Jesus did A. Jesus did, even though it was unlawful, did that. He washed their feet even though it was unlawful. He washed their feet, B, because it was tradition. He washed their feet, C, because they asked him to. D, he washed their feet as an example. All right, there we go. I got it right there now. So Jesus washed their feet. Why did he do it? It was unlawful. It was tradition, because they asked him to, as an example. And there goes our First Lady, takes off down the court with example. And she passes it to Cousin Shirley. Back and forth, they go down the court with example, and they passes it to the pastor with example. The pastor takes off, and he passes it back to the First Lady with example. And the First Lady passes it to Sister Knott Kennedy. Down the court, Sister Knott Kennedy takes off down on the court with example. And Sister Knott passes it to the pastor. Man, they're coming in, and she passes it to Sister Alice. Sister Alice passes it back to Sister Knott Kennedy. Down the court, Sister Not Kennedy going with it, and she passes it between her legs back to Sister Alice. Sister Alice go between her legs, pass it back to Sister Not Kennedy. Sister Not go behind her back and pass the ball back to the pastor. The pastor go behind his back and he passes it back to Sister Not Kennedy. Look at him work that ball. Is that correct? Is that correct as the seconds tick on the clock? Is it correct as an example? That is correct. As an example, flying 360 slam on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question, Jesus said the servant what? A, is greater than his Lord. B, is not greater than his Lord. C, remains outside the Lord's house. D, shall sit at the Lord's table. Jesus, what did Jesus say about the servant? What did Jesus say? Is he greater? Not greater? Remains out of his house, shall sit. What did Jesus say? Who gonna take off first down the court on this one here? And there go the first lady, says it's not greater. Down the court, the first lady goes with not greater. If she go down the court with not greater, she passes it to Cousin Shirley. Cousin Shirley passes it to the pastor. The pastor goes down the court between his legs and behind his back with not greater. As they take off down the court, is that correct? The servant is not greater than his Lord. He's with B, and the pastor passes it to Sister Not. Sister Not takes off down the court and she passes it back to the pastor. The pastor passes it back to Sister Not. They're going back and forth down the court. Is this a slam dunk? It's not greater. The servant is not greater than his Lord. As the seconds tick on the clock, is this correct? With not greater. Is B correct? That is correct. The servant is not greater than his Lord. Flying 360 slam on that one there. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question said Jesus identified his betrayer by saying he would do what? Give him a sop. A. B, send lightning and thunder. C, send fire from heaven. D, take his breath from his soul. How did Jesus say he would identify his betrayer? Give him a sop, send lightning and thunder, send fire, take breath from his soul. And that goes our first lady down the court, says send him a sop. Down the court, the first lady goes with send him a sop. Are we all in agreement with the first lady as she takes off down the court with sending them a sock? Do y'all see something different? Down the court, the first lady says send them a sock. Is she got to go at it by herself? She's going at it all alone. How would Jesus identify the betrayer? The crowd is all excited as the first lady goes on her own. Finally, here comes the pastor. The pastor takes off down the court with sock. And he passes it back to the first lady. The first lady passes it to Sister Not Kennedy. Sister Not Kennedy takes off down the court with sock. And she take off down the court. She passes it back to the pastor, who passes it to the first lady. First lady goes between her leg and passes it to Sister Alice. Sister Alice says, send him a sack. Okay, and here comes Sister Not stealing, and she said, no, give him a sock. Down the court, she passed it Cousin Shirley, who passed it back to Sister Not, to pastor, to the pastor, to Sister Not. I guess you trying to say sock. I guess you trying to say sock, Sister Alice. I guess so. All right, then. Give him a sock. Is Sister Not? That's all right. She trying to say sock. All right, give him a sock. The crowd is already excited. Is that correct? So that got you too, Cousin Shirley. All right, then. Is it correct with a sock? Give him a sock. Is that correct? That is correct. Give him a sock out of that bowl. All right, SOP. I know what you're talking about. Way to get that one, flying 360 on that one. Let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. The next question says, when Judas left, Jesus told him to do what he was going to do. How? A, carefully. B, fearfully. C, without remorse. Or D, quickly. Do it how? Who gonna take off down the court on this one here? You said you had to look that one up, cousin Shirley. All right, then. That's all right. All right, that goes our first lady takes off down the court with quickly. Do it quickly. Down the court, we going with quickly. Down the court as we first lady takes off down the court with quickly, and here come the pastor. Here come cousin Shirley. All of them said, do it quickly. All right, that's it. Do it quickly. Whatever you do, pastor, first lady, cousin Shirley, they all said, do it quickly. They are flying down this court. Whatever you do it quickly. And here comes Sister Knott Kennedy, said quickly, and she passes it to Sister Alice. Whatever you do it quickly. And they passes it back to the pastor, but here come the bishop, steals it and said, no, do it fearfully. But here comes Sister Alice, steals it from the bishop right away, and she said, do it quickly, and she passes it to Sister Knott. Down the court, back and forth, they go with do it quickly. Is this a slam dunk with quickly as the first lady comes in for reinforcement, and she passes it back to Sister Alice, to Sister Knott, back and forth. Here come the pastor, but the bishop still trying to get in there and steal it. As the bishop tried to steal it, here come the pastor, steals it right back from the bishop and passes it to Sister Knott, who passes it back to the pastor. Is this correct? Do it quickly. That is correct. D, do it quickly. Fine 360 slam on that one there. Whatever you do it quickly. Let's get ready to head down the court with the next question. Next question said, Jesus gave the disciples a new what? A, garment. B, language. C, commandment. D, name. Jesus gave the disciples a new what? Garment, language, commandment, or name. Who gonna take off down the court first on this one here? Did he give them A, garment, B, language, C, commandment, or D, name? All right, what did he give them? A new what? All right, and there goes the bishop, took off down the court and said, gave them a new garment. The bishop says garment. Down the court, the bishop go with garment, but here come the first lady, steals it from the bishop, and she passes it right away to cousin Shirley. Down the court they go between the first lady and cousin Shirley, and they passes it to the pastor. Down the court they go with y'all moving fast, a new commandment. Down the court they said new commandment. Back and forth they go down the court, but here come the bishop trying to steal it back. He said garment. Down the court he go with garment, but the pastor steals it right back from him and passes it to the first lady. First lady go between her leg, behind her back. She is determined with a new commandment. Down the court, the first lady goes with new commandment, and she passes it to Sister Alice. Sister Alice goes between her leg, behind her back, pass it to the first lady, back to Sister Alice as they go down the court, back and forth between Sister Alice. But here come the bishop again to steal it. But the pastor steals it from the bishop right away. No, bishop, it is commandment. Down the court, the pastor goes with commandment, and he passes it to Sister Knott. Down the court, Sister Knott go between her legs, behind her back with commandment. A new commandment as she takes off down the court, and she passes it to the first lady, who passes it to Sister Alice. Is this correct commandment? That is correct. A new commandment. Way to fly 360. It is C, Bishop. New commandment. C, a new commandment. All right, let's get ready to head down the court with our next question. Next question says, Jesus said, men will know you are my disciples if you do what? A, pray aloud. B, fast. C, love one another. D, preach my word. You will know, Jesus said, people will know you are my disciple. You do what? Pray aloud, fast, love one another, preach the word. Who's going to take off down the court first on this one here? And there go our first lady, said love one another. Down the court, the first lady go with love one another, and she passes it to Cousin Shirley. Down the court, Cousin Shirley go with love one another, and she passes it to Sister Lisa Jones. Sister Lisa Jones go between her legs behind her back, and she passes it back to the first lady, to Sister Knott. Down the court, they going back and forth. As they go back and forth between those three, between Sister Lisa and Sister Knott, and they passes it to the pastor. Down the court, the pastor passes it back to Sister Knott. As he go between their legs, they going back and forth between the pastor and Sister Knott. They are moving pretty fast. The pastor and Sister Knott are going back and forth down the court as they pass it down the court. Down the court, they're going between each other. Down the court they go. Is this a slam dunk? And that Sister Knott passes it to Sister Alice. Sister Alice said, love one another. Is that a slam dunk? That is correct. Love one another. Way to slam it on that one now. Flying 360 slam on that one now. All right, let's get ready to head down the court for our next question. Next question says, Jesus said Peter would deny him this many times before the cock crowed. Y'all already know that one. How many times will Peter deny him? How many times did Jesus say Peter would deny him? And there go our first lady, takes off down the court, and she said 3 times. She passes it to Cousin Shirley with 3 times. Down the court they go with 3 times. Is this correct? As they take off down the court between Cousin Shirley and the first lady with 3 times, and they pass it to the pastor with 3 times. Back and forth, back to the first lady with 3 times. Is this correct? Man, they are going at it. They are moving pretty fast. They are moving fast between the first lady, the pastor, and all of them. They moving down the court with 3 times. And they passes it to Sister Alice. And Sister Alice passes it to Sister Knott. Sister Knott go between her leg, passes it back to Sister Alice. Back and forth, they going down the court between Sister Knott and Sister Alice. They are going at it back and forth down the court. Man, look at them play some ball. They are playing some ball. That's what the crowd likes as they go back and forth down that court between Sister Alice and Sister Knott. That is some good ball playing. That's what I call good ball playing as they go back and forth between their leg behind their back. They got the crowd all excited. But are they correct? Is it correct with 3 times? That is correct. It was 3 times. Flying 360 slam on that one now. It was 3 times. All right, let's get ready. That brings our game to an end. Y'all went out with a slam. That brings our game to an end. We like to thank you all for coming out and being a part of this, being a part. Y'all went at it pretty good this game. Y'all went at it pretty good. That was some good ball playing. So I thank you all for coming out and being a part of this. Thank you to you all. Remember, have a blessed night. Thank you all. And trust the process and keep God first throughout your night, throughout your day, throughout your life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Way to go, team. Amen. Thank you, Cousin Shirley, for being with us tonight. Thank you, Pastor White, for stopping by. Thank you, my classmate, Knott Kennedy. Thank you for stopping by. Sister Alice Cummins, God bless you. Sister Alice, thank you for stopping by and being with us tonight. Bishop was with us tonight. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you to my wife. Thank you. If I miss anybody, charge it to my eyes and not my heart. Thank you to you all for being with us tonight. Sister Lisa Jones, God bless you, Sister Lisa. Thank you for stopping by and being with us tonight. God bless you. She got her map a win on her page. Thank you. Thank you, my cousin Shirley. Thank you. Thank you to you all. If I miss anybody, charge it to my eye, not my heart. Thank you, Bishop, for being with us tonight. Y'all have a blessed night. Good night to you all. Great game. Remember, trust the process and keep God first. You said that word got you too, huh? That sop. It kept saying sock instead of sop. All right. Enjoyed you too, my sister. Have a blessed night. All right.